So basically the scope of practice is a guiding document which sets out an individual's work within that specific area or location.
The scope of practice for Aboriginal health workers and Aboriginal health practitioners gives the staff on the ground a framework to be able to work within, and it puts them in a place that they're able to use their skills to the highest degree.
With the scope of practice, it's to help guide me to what I can do in my role as a health practitioner.
Because we need to define what each health worker, health practitioner can do, because it's so different in every community.
According to their state and territory legislation and regulation. It also assists managers to be able to identify the roles of the health workers and also what they're capable of undertaking as part of their roles within the health sector.
It gives them a bit of credibility in the work they do, but also gives them a safe position to be in, so they're not forced to be working outside, what they've learned and what skill sets they've sort of developed through their professional careers.
I think this will be good when we have a scope of practice, because a lot of people always ask when we have new staff coming in and stuff like that, what is the scope of practice for Aboriginal health practitioners? So I think this will be a clear definition of what they can do, what their roles are that they can do in the health centres and that. So
what's NATSIHWA doing regarding to scope of practice, that so the health workers will be recognised as a professional body, a voice.
You need to have your role description and look at your relevant state and territory legislation or regulation in order to develop your scope of practice within that particular work environment.
It's going to assist the managers to better manage the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health worker, health practitioner, and to also give the health worker, health practitioner their scope of practice so that they know what they can perform in the community in which they're servicing.
I think the scope of practice will be really benefit for all the health workers, mainly recognition for their recognized with the health workers as a professional body.
So a scope of practice can help define your role, whether it be in the hospital sector or the hospital setting or the Aboriginal community control setting or a mainstream health organisation.
And it gives us an opportunity to give a bit of credibility to the Aboriginal health workers and health practitioners out there, and gives them a bit of strength in the workforce capabilities that they use out there.
The scope of practice is an awesome tool that's been developed by NATSIHWA that'll help me and also my employers with knowing what I can do and what I'm qualified and able to do.
One of the long-term goals is to have recognition for all the health workers, for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers.
The scope of practice has been developed over many years and by many individuals that have put their time and effort into making the scope of practice and fulfilling the scope of practice to what it is today.
Without our partners and other experts within the roles, without their input into this document, it wouldn't be possible to produce it.
We understand that this didn't happen overnight. It took a few years, and now we do have a toolkit to developing an individual scope of practice wherever you are within Australia.
The scope of practice is an excellent tool, and it was developed by NATSIHWA.